everyone. Welcome to A Godly Home. We are going to be making a Misfits Market Meal today, and this is a meal that I have made a lot, but I think it's going to be exceptionally good. Using their ingredients, we are going to start by making a homemade pasta and then adding sausage and cabbage and onion to it. And if you don't want to make the homemade pasta, just buy a package of their pasta and substitute with that. All right, let's get started. Okay, I like to make my pasta in a large mixing bowl. That way I can keep the dough in there for as long as possible, and it won't be as much cleanup. We're going to put 2 cups of flour in there. I'm using all-purpose unbleached King Arthur flour from Misfits. If you're not shopping at Misfits, you can still make this meal with us. This is just to show people that are how they can use their ingredients. And then to that, we're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we'll go ahead and stir that with a fork. Then we are going to add some oil, and we are going to do just about a teaspoon of oil. I'm using olive oil. And then we need some eggs. If these are medium Misfits Market eggs, I'll use 3. If you're using large eggs, use 2. I'm just going to crack them into a bowl. Ooh, well, that didn't work out so good, but all's well that ends well. It didn't break in there. Okay, now I'm going to whisk them up. And then I'm going to pour them right in. And I'll put the shells in my compost. Okay, now I'm going to take and add 1/3 of a cup of water. We're going to stir it all in. If you've never had homemade pasta, it's really different than store-bought pasta. It's a real different texture. It's kind of chewier and thicker. It doesn't take very much of it to fill you up, but you really feel like you've had something amazing. It's kind of the difference between store-bought bread and hot homemade bread. Okay, once I get it to that point, I'm going to have to stick my hands in there. And this gets so messy. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil on my hands to help with that because it's just so sticky. And I don't really want to add any extra flour to it yet. So I'm just going to oil my hands up really well. And now I'm just going to start working the dough. And I find really just squeezing it does the most. I don't usually knead it like bread dough, just squeezing it until it's smooth dough. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. All right, let me get the cover on the oil before I end up spilling that all over the table. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put about 1/3 of a cup of flour out on the table. Okay. And we're going to spread this all around. We actually want to get all of this in with the dough so that our dough is not too sticky. We want to be able to handle it. You'll see as we go. But that's why I'm measuring out the flour exactly that's going on to the table. And now we're just going to start rolling this out. You want to make sure your table is super clean. I know you older cooks know this, but there could be some younger cooks. Okay, guys, about like that. You don't want it too thin. Okay. You want a little bit to it, but like that. Then this is the fastest way. I'm not a fancy cook. I'm just going to cut this all up using my pizza cutter. I'm around the camera now. That's why I can't cut it even close to the same size. Okay, now I'm just going to go across like this. Okay, now I stir it all up with the rest of that flour. I want all of that flour incorporated in on those cut edges because they will be sticky and I'll have a mess if I don't get all of that flour incorporated in here. Okay, now I'm going to put the whole works right back into my bowl here. Okay, and I'll wipe down the counter and then we'll be ready to cook it. You guys don't want to make the rest of the recipe if you're just going to have this with jarred sauce or something. All you're going to do is bring your water to a boil, Put your pasta in there all at once, and as soon as it floats, go ahead and drain it, and then do whatever you want to with it. I want to show you guys, when you're cleaning up from pasta like that, it cleans up easy. It doesn't make the mess that some things make. See, it's just a quick wipe. There's nothing stuck to the table or anything. Okay. Okay, I have a kettle of water back here, waiting to boil with a little salt in it. And then I have one Misfits Market onion sliced up. And then I have one of their whole cabbages that has been sliced and soaking in salt water just to make sure it's good and clean. And then here in this frying pan, I have a pound of their sausage, and their sausage is delicious. Absolutely delicious. And we're going to go ahead and get this cooked up on medium heat, and we'll break it up as it cooks. This is a family favorite. We love this meal. Okay, once it gets to this point that it's broke up and starting to cook, but it's not like done all the way through and it's not brown yet, I'm going to go ahead and add my onion to it. And we'll continue cooking until this is brown. Okay, now I'm going to take the sausage out using a slotted spoon and leave that grease right in there. And I'm going to shut the pan off for a minute because I want it to cool down. When I add that wet cabbage, I don't want to get that grease snapping and coming up at me. Okay, now I'm going to just start adding my cabbage. Okay, I'm going to turn my pan on medium high. And I am going to put a good amount of pepper all through this. And then some seasoning salt. A good amount, because that's a whole head of cabbage. And then we're just going to cook this. So I cooked this until all the liquid cooked out of the cabbage and it was brown. And then I added my sausage and onion back in and stirred it up and let that continue to brown while I got my pasta cooked. Okay, my water is boiling, and all I am going to do is add all of that pasta right into that boiling water. And in it goes. Okay, see how I added it just handfuls at a time? I didn't give it like a great big splash all at once. And now I'm going to stir it with a slotted spoon off and on until it rises to the top. And when it does, it will be done. And it will not take very long to rise to the top. I'm going to show you this real time, just in case you've never made pasta. And in the meantime, I keep stirring that sausage and cabbage to let it keep browning and to make sure it's not getting scorched anywhere. Okay, I'm giving it another stir. You can see right there, there's a few of them are starting to come to the top. There's a few more coming up. I give it another stir. And right there you can see a whole bunch of them are coming to the top. Okay, like that. And now I'm going to take them out with a slotted spoon and add them to my cabbage and sausage. You won't need any butter or anything like that because you had that sausage grease that you cooked the cabbage and sausage in with. You won't want any additional seasonings either. This will be very flavorful. This was exceptionally good. The Misfits Market ingredients did make it even better than normal. Their sausage is out of this world. I'm not really sure if I've had anything like it before. It's just exceptionally good. And there was plenty of this left over for my husband to take 2 big dishes of it in his lunch to work today. Okay, here it is, finished. A close up, and here it is on the plate. Thanks for watching. Bye.